Refine Edge is one of those features that seems like it's a secret. It'll bring your work from average to outstanding. I'm going to start by making a selection with the Quick Selection tool of this model, and our goal is to drop her into a new shot. When I use the Quick Selection tool, I'm very careful to stay well inside of the object I'm selecting, and I'm clicking and dragging. I haven't changed the default settings, and it's very safe to let go because the automatic mode is to add to selection. Even though I got a little bit too much of the background near her ear, I'm going to let it go. The way I say that, it's one word, it's my mantra. And I'm going to continue painting her top to get all the sparkly parts in. And I'm going to zoom in with Control plus or Command plus and just use my wheel to move down. I do try to keep Quick Selection as it was intended, making it quick, and I often remind myself not to spend too much time on it. I went a little too far here, so I'm just going to undo Control Z or Command Z. But if you go too far, it's okay, you can clean up the selection edge. I think I'm fairly happy with this. I could make my brush smaller by using the left bracket key next to the letter P on my keyboard, or you could dial the size down up here. But I wanted to get it small enough that I could get that little piece that's sticking out of the top, and maybe a little bit of shoulder. Now I have to remind myself I'm spending too much time. A power user trick is Alt or Option will take away from the selection, or if you're not a keyboard shortcut fanatic, you can use the Subtract from Selection mode on the Options bar. This time I'm very careful to stay in the gray and not touch her skin or her ear. Now, hair is the bane of every retoucher's existence. Every model has frizzy hair, male and female alike, I guess unless they have no hair. But Refine Edge will bring back a lot of this hair detail. I can go back to Add to Selection and include a little extra if I'd like, but I don't need to attempt to get it all. In fact, a lot of people like that removed anyway. Refine Edge when you're on any selection tool will be at the bar across the top. And before I use it, I'm going to scoot over so I can see her head on the left, and then Refine Edge over on the right. You can also get to Refine Edge under Select Refine Edge if you aren't on a selection tool. Now you can clearly see how bumpy that selection is to begin. But what I'm going to do is dial the magic radius setting up, and it will evaluate using a very sophisticated algorithm what I'm trying to select and wipe out the background that I want to pull her off of. You see that it grabbed every fine hair. In fact, as I dial it up, it'll grab even more. But you may notice some ghosting or softness along the edge. Smart Radius helps keep a more solid edge, keep the object or person you're selecting crisper. So when I click Smart Radius on, there, it's filled in most of those ghosted or soft areas. In fact, under the view at the top, I can see this on black and white, which is technically the channel or alpha mask, and I could see so many fine hairs were captured. If the shot you're looking at doesn't give you a good preview on a white background because your object is light, you can view it on a black background. And in fact, if I choose on black and click away and hit Control minus or Command minus a few times, that was just an outstanding way to see what it would look like if I did drop her into a new black background. But I'll go back to on white because it helps me see my selection edge better. There are a few other settings, but simply play with Radius and Smart Radius until you're happy. For this shot, since I'm attempting to gather hair, I won't play with smoothing or feathering or contrast. I'll take a look at that later. So I'm going to choose, instead of outputting to a selection, meaning I would have to make a layer mask myself to drop her into a new image, I'll let Photoshop go ahead and make a new layer with a layer mask. And I'll click OK. Once I've clicked OK, the background is magically wiped out. I'll come down to Mini Bridge and I'll click once on any image and type AD for Adobe, and I'll double-click on the Adobe background image. I'll double-click on Mini Bridge to collapse it, and I love to use Window, Arrange, and the 2 up either horizontal or vertical. In this case, I want vertical because that's the orientation of her shot. Finally, to get these two together, I'll go to my Move tool, get in the middle of her anywhere, and drag and drop this shot over into the other image. I'll try that one more time. I missed on the first grab. Drag and drop. And it's important that I actually did miss because this gives you a visual indicator. You could see the cursor has a little plus sign at the bottom right indicating that it's going to copy the image to a new layer in the new shot. Then I'll simply right-click on the file name and choose Consolidate All to here. That tabs or tucks the model dark hair, the original shot, behind this image, and now I can move her into position. And there is your finished result using the Quick Selection tool and the Refine Edge. Remember, next time you make a selection, don't commit to your changes until you've tried Refine Edge on it. I do not make a layer or layer mask without running Refine Edge first. It has cut my cleanup time on my layer masks dramatically. Good luck with this very powerful feature.